Hello guys, welcome back once again to this channel Aspire to Attain. In this lecture, we will learn the famous poem of William Shakespeare, and it is not a poem, rather I may call it is a sonnet, and the number of the sonnet is 34. It is quite interesting sonnet, and in this sonnet we will learn Shakespeare is speaking angrily. We don't know why Shakespeare is speaking angrily, but if we analyze the entire poem, we will learn the cause of the angry of Shakespeare. So without wasting much more time, let's begin the poem. But before beginning of the poem, we need to remember that the sonnet 34 is quite interesting one, and in fact, in this sonnet, Shakespeare is complaining against his boyfriend because the boyfriend has promised to do something. Now, what was the promise we don't know, but rather we can clearly come to know that there was an disagreement between the poet and his boyfriend. So, as a result, Shakespeare vented out his emotion in this way. So, let's begin. Why didst thou promise such a beauteous day, and make me travel forth without any cloak? Just to look at the very beginning, and here Shakespeare is just putting question mark to his lover or to his boyfriend. Here Shakespeare is clearly speaking that his lover, why didst thou promise such a beauteous day? The sonneteer is speaking that the boyfriend has promised him to offer a beauteous day, a day which will be joyful, which will be mirthful and exhilarating, and make me travel forth without any cloak. And as a result of the promise, the poet or the sonneteer or the sonnet Shakespeare has come out from his home to undertake a journey without any cloak, that means without any proper accommodation. So Shakespeare was quite in a haste to reach to his boyfriend. So as a result, somehow he forgot to take his cloak, his clothes, and as a result, he is not traveling without any cloak. To let be base cloud overtake me in my way. Here Shakespeare is just questioning, like whenever you are offering me such a beauteous day, but still now you are not reciprocating. So what is the main cause of doing so? Why are you betraying me? So this is the real issue that Shakespeare is here highlighting. To let base clouds overtake me in my way. Is it the only fact that you want to disgrace me? You want to defame my love? You want to just demean my own love towards you? So here the imagery that Shakespeare has used is quite interesting. The poet is saying that to let a base cloud overtake me in my way. Base clouds are usually those clouds which remain in the lower sky. So here, whenever Shakespeare is taking a long journey to reach to his boyfriend, and then there appears some kind of hurdle, and hurdle means the cloud, the base cloud which are creating obstacle on the way of Shakespeare to reaching to his boyfriend. So here Shakespeare is complaining that whenever you are promising me a beauteous day, but still now you are not reciprocating, you are just betraying me. And as a result, the poet is feeling quite disgraced, quite demeaning, and he feels that hurdle is being created on his way to reach to his beloved. So therefore, the poet has clearly used the metaphorical word base cloud. Base cloud is nothing but the creation of hurdle. Here the poet says that to let a base cloud overtake me in my way. So I have taken a long journey, but you are not reciprocating. So as a result, what I am seeing that I have been overtaken by the hurdles. Hiding thy bravery in their rotten smoke. So you promised me a beauteous day. So that was your bravery. But whenever you are not reciprocating me, whenever you are just responding to my call, and you are just eluding my grasp. In spite of taking my long journey to reach to you, you are just hiding your bravery in their rotten smoke. So there is hurdles, and behind the hurdles you are getting hidden. So as a result, the poet is not clearly observing his boyfriend. Here, one critic also says that the entire first quatrain is addressed to sun. It may appear that the sun is symbolical presentation of his boyfriend, and here in the metaphorical representation of sun, Shakespeare is clearly complaining to his boyfriend that he is unreciprocative, and as a result, Shakespeare feels a certain kind of disgrace in his life. It is not enough that through the clouds thou break, to dry the rain on my storm-beaten face. So here Shakespeare is again asserting that whatever disgrace you may have done, it is not possible for you to break down the entire disgrace to restore my own dignity. Because the poet has taken a long journey, and in spite of taking his long journey, he is unable to get the reciprocation of his boyfriend. So here the tone is quite melodious, and at the same time the tone is quite linear, because Shakespeare is here expressing his own emotion out in such a way that so that the lover can feel the exact depth of his own emotion. It is not enough that through the clouds thou break, to dry the rain on my storm-beaten face. Here, look into the second line, my storm-beaten face. That means that disgrace that Shakespeare has faced in undertaking such type of journey without cloak. So the reciprocation is not available for Shakespeare, and so here the poet Shakespeare is saying that it is not enough that through the clouds thou break. It is not possible. It is not quite a proportionate way of propitiating my disgrace by coming out from that barrier to dry the rain on my storm-beaten face. What disgrace you have done, whatever way you may take to alienate such type of disgrace can never be possible for you. So Shakespeare is again putting allegation against his boyfriend and saying that whatever action you will may take will not be at all proportionate to alleviate my disgrace. For no man well of such a self can speak, that heals the wound and cures not the disgrace. Here we must have to remember that the meaning of the salve. Salve is a certain kind of lotion which are used to heal some kind of disease, some kind of cut marks. So the poet is saying that for no man well of such a salve can speak. So whatever you may speak, whatever you may try to propitiate my disgrace, whatever you may bring out to cure my disgrace, that will never ever be able to cure my disgrace. That heals the wound and cures not the disgrace. So your all attempts will be totally nullified. Your attempts can never heal the wound that has caused by your unreciprocation, and you can never restore my own dignity. So here, just look the tone. The tone is clearly quite full of allegation, and here is quite similarity with the sonnet number 41, 42, and 43. I have just mentioned to all of you that probably there was some disagreement. So what was the disagreement? We don't know. And what beauteous day the boyfriend has promised to Shakespeare, we don't know. But due to the unreciprocation, Shakespeare is clearly putting some allegation against his boyfriend. If we look into the sonnet 41 or 42, there we can see that the boyfriend has done a certain kind of crime with the regard that the boyfriend has taken the lady love of Shakespeare. So this is the allegation and this is the fact that Shakespeare is using here to present his allegation against his boyfriend. Here, the poet is clearly saying that whatever attempt the boyfriend may take to alleviate his disgrace, to alleviate his wound, that can never be possible because Shakespeare has been momentously disgraced and he feels ashamed in every way of his life. Here comes the third quatrain. Nor can thy shame give physic to my grief. Though thou repent, yet I have still the loss. Shame is the disgrace that Shakespeare has faced in undertaking a long journey. But the fact is that the beloved is unreciprocative. So, as a result, the poet is saying that whatever grief the boyfriend may express out to alleviate, to cut short the disgrace of the poet, but that is not enough. So the poet is saying that nor can thy shame give physic to my grief. Physic here used in the sense of solving. So whatever was the grief, whatever was the cause of my shame, your lamentation can never be able to solve my shame. Your lamentation, your expressing out of grief can never be quite proportionate with my shame. Though thou repent, it is quite possible that due to my grief you may repent. But yet I have still the loss. But believe me, the loss will surely remain with me. So what was the loss? Here we must have to allude to the sonnet 41. Here we see that the boyfriend of Shakespeare has taken out Shakespeare's beloved. So this is the loss. So here Shakespeare is missing his own lady love. So therefore the loss is the lose of his own beloved. So I have still the loss. In spite of the repent of the boyfriend, the poet Shakespeare will surely have his own loss because he will never be able to meet with his lady love because the lady love has been taken out by the boyfriend. Though we don't know who is the boyfriend, what is the actual identity of the boyfriend. The offender's sorrow lends but weak relief to him that bears the strong offence's cross. The offender here is the boyfriend of Shakespeare, and he has taken the beloved, the lady love of Shakespeare. But now the offender means the boyfriend is feeling a certain kind of grief in himself. And here Shakespeare is again clearly alleging against the boyfriend that whatever you are expressing, whatever kind of sorrow you are expressing, but you must have to remember that such type of sorrowful expression are nothing but a weak relief, a relief for a short term, a relief for a short time, and this relief again helps you the strong offenses cross. This relief again gives you quite strength to do much more offenses. So here Shakespeare is saying that your way of lamenting is nothing but getting much more strength to do much more offenses against me. Now the last quatrain, it is a reversal of the allegation. So whatever allegation Shakespeare has put against his boyfriend are just reversed out. Here Shakespeare is also feeling a certain kind of leniency towards his boyfriend. Oh, but those tears are pearl which thy love sheds. Just look into the word oh. Oh is the indication of the lament. With the suffering, with the feelings of boyfriend, Shakespeare is also quite associating himself with those feelings. So as a result, he is venting out his own emotion, which is full of grief, which is full of melancholy. As if Shakespeare is now sympathizing to his boyfriend. Oh, but those tears are pearls. But believe me, the tears that are dropping out from your eyes are nothing but a pearl, are nothing but a precious pearl, precious gem, which thy love sets. And those type of pearls, those type of tears are coming out because of your love. So Shakespeare is now quite convinced by the fact of tears that are dropping out from his boyfriend. And the poet is also believing that the boyfriend loves Shakespeare very much. So as a result, the tears are coming out from the eyes of the boyfriend. So the poet is saying that those tears are pearl. Believe me, those tears, those eye drops are really a precious gem to me. And the precious gems are quite capable to save you from all kind of infamy that you caused to me. And they are rich and ransom all electrics. And those pearls, those tears are quite rich, quite precious, and ransom all electrics. Ransom means to get a release from a prison by giving some amount. So here we must have to remember that here ransom is nothing but the pearls which saves the poet from disgrace, from infamy. And those pearls, those tearing, those crying are quite capable to save Shakespeare from all kind of disgrace, from all kind of infamy. So this is the